Hello. I am just getting ready to go live on my Instagram and show everyone what I'm doing for dinner. And so I thought before I do that, I would quick make the intro for YouTube. So I go live on my Instagram as often as I can making dinner when it is reasonable. Some dinners are just too long to do on live. But so if you are watching this on YouTube and you want to catch them live and be interactive, you can find me at Her Hearts at Home, and I will link in the description. I will put my handles. You can come join me on there. And of course, I always appreciate the likes, the subscribes, the follows, all the things to help all the algorithms to show my stuff to more people. So don't forget to subscribe if you like cooking videos, if you like grocery hauls, just various kitchen things. I may venture into posting some of my homeschool stuff. Right now I've just kind of been getting it going with cooking. So I am going to go ahead and go live. So I will combine the videos together. So let's do it. Good evening, afternoon. I guess it's only just about 4:30 here, but it's dance night and it's parent participation week. So that means that I get to go dance with my daughter. So we have to eat earlier, and I needed something that would hold up for my son and my husband to eat a little later than us. So I dug through my freezer, figured out what I had, and I found a bag of already cooked taco meat. This was something I made earlier in the month. We had tacos, and so I always save any little bit of leftover meat. Maybe it's not enough for a meal as itself, but it's great for putting into something else and creating a different meal. So that's what I'm doing today. I am just creating some sort of like taco rice concoction, making it up as I go, but using up this meat. And it's a meal that will hold for my husband to eat later when he gets home, since I'll be dancing with my daughter tonight. So this was still mostly frozen, but I just got it going in my pan. I'm just trying to heat it up. It's already cooked, so I'm not needing to worry about that. I'm just trying to get it all broken up and heat it up a little bit. So I've got that in here. I would say it's probably about 2 cups of cooked taco meat. It's ground beef. So to this, what I'm going to do is I also, when my peppers are starting to go bad, I chop and I freeze them. And so I'm going to use some of those that I've actually diced up smaller, so they're a little more hidden for my son, and I'm going to add those to it. Just a great way to add in some extra veggie that he won't know. Use up those frozen peppers. So I'm going to add that into the meat. And of course you guys aren't going to see the finished product of this because it's going to take some time to cook, but I will post it onto my YouTube, and I always share a photo when I'm done. So, alright, so I've got those peppers in with the meat, and then the next thing I'm going to add is, this is something I get from my Azure standard order. It's Jovial kidney beans. They are organic, and they are soaked overnight and pressure cooked. I love that they come in glass jars for when I can reuse them, but also I do not have to worry about any chemicals leaching into my food. So I'm going to go ahead, I rinsed them already, and I just put them back into the can. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the ingredients are literally just kidney beans, water, and lemon juice. So I am just going to dump this jar into the meat mixture. This adds a little extra protein, stretches the beef farther. So I'll actually save this jar, and we can reuse it for storing food since they're such nice jars. I absolutely love those Jovial brand beans. I ordered more in my Azure order. And if you want to know more about Azure and you're watching this on Instagram, you can go on to my highlights and see more about Azure. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you can join me on Instagram, go to my highlights, and see more about Azure. But I do have a referral link if you want to check it out. Our family gets $25 if you decide to buy some groceries from them. You don't pay anything extra, but it's just a blessing for my family. So if that's something you're interested in, I will happily share the link. It's also in my highlights. So I've got my beans added in there. The next thing I'm going to add is some tomato paste. This is also from my Azure Standard order. This is 100% organic Bio Nature tomato paste, no salt added. The ingredients in this are literally organic tomato paste. So I absolutely love the products I'm getting. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this jar. And then I will just put the rest of it in the fridge for a future meal, just to intensify the tomato flavor a little bit. I also ordered more of this. I actually ordered a whole case of them this time because I really, really like it. So just saute up that tomato paste in there, get that all mixed in. And of course, if you didn't have pre-cooked meat, you could cook up, meat, or you could use chicken, you could use turkey. I'm just really about using things that you have on hand and using up those random leftovers that aren't enough for another meal by themselves. All right, the next thing I'm going to add is some Better Than Bouillon that I mixed in with some water. This is 2 cups, and I may end up needing to add in more water as the rice cooks, and so I'll just keep an eye on it. But if you are unfamiliar with Better Than Bouillon, this is what it looks like. I get this from Costco. This is the organic, reduced sodium Better Than Bouillon beef base. I've got vegetable and chicken as well, but it is kind of like a paste. I think it kind of reminds me of Nutella. So it's like a paste, it's not a powder, and 1 teaspoon mixed with 1 cup of hot water gives you 1 cup of broth. So I did 2 teaspoons and 2 cups of water. And then I'm also going to just throw in some frozen corn. This was a 5-pound bag that I got from Azure Standard as well. And, oops, splashing all over. Just going to add in some corn, however much you like. You could add in other veggies that you want that your family will eat. But I'm doing corn. I love sweet corn with like taco things. So add in that. And then the next, I'm going to add in my seasonings and then my rice. And I will show you what I'm going to top it with. But again, if you want to see the completed thing, you can go on my YouTube, which there's a link in my bio, or you can come check out my feed later and I'll share a picture of it. So I'm just going to add in some organic ground black pepper. So my meat was already seasoned, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'm just seasoning it a little bit more for the rice. Next is some organic cumin, and I'm just going to add in about 1/4 teaspoon. I don't really measure a lot of things when I'm cooking. Oregano, I'll add in like 1/2 teaspoon. These are just, typical spices that you would find in taco seasoning. But I didn't want to add in a ton more sodium because the Better Than Bouillon has it, the beans have it. So anyways, this is some granulated onion, 1/2 teaspoon of that. And then last is some granulated garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of that. I'm going to get that all mixed in, and then we're going to go ahead and add in the rice. So like I said, I'll watch it because if I need to add in some more water, I will if the rice needs more for cooking. Since I'm just making this up as I go, I don't exactly know. I just kind of estimated that typically the rice that I'm using would need 1.5 cups, and so I upped it just a little bit to kind of make up for some of the other things that are in there that maybe will absorb a little bit of the liquid. So next I just have some Lundberg Family Organic Basmati, however you say it, rice. You can get this at Azure, you can get it possibly Walmart. I got this one particular bag at Fresh Thyme, but I actually have it in my cart. I think this shipment for my Azure order, we really, really love this rice, and I love that it's organic. Rice is a really dirty ingredient, so having it sourced well and organic is the way to go if you're going to eat rice. And you want to pay attention to where it comes from. So I'm going to do 1 cup of this in there. And then I'm just going to mix it all up, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce it down a little bit and put the lid on and just let it kind of simmer and cook it all up. But I'll show you what it all looks like together. And then of course once the rice plumps up and absorbs all that liquid. It's going to be like a casserole kind of thing. I don't, you know, depending on where you're from, we call it something different. In the Midwest, we typically call it a like a hot dish, but it's not a hot dish because it's not a 9 by 13 pan. Anyways, that's kind of what it looks like. It's just a bunch of random things together to make a dinner, because that is a very wise way to cook. You waste less, you get creative, which is really important, especially this time, crazy times. Just making do with what you have and being flexible in the ingredients that you use, utilizing leftovers, not letting things go to waste. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna reduce it down to like a medium low and put the lid on it. And then when it is all done and everything has been absorbed and the rice is nice and soft, then I have some sharp cheddar cheese that we pre-shredded and froze. We love to just shred it all up at once because I get out my KitchenAid, you can see it back there, get out the shredding attachments. We just shred blocks of cheese at a time and then we freeze them because typically we're melting it anyways. And really I've put it on salads like this and it's fine, but it stays a lot better, longer. You don't have to worry about getting the mold. Anyway, so I'm just going to sprinkle some sharp cheddar cheese on the top of it right before we serve it, and then I will serve it with some apples or oranges or clementine, something. Those are the fruit that I have right now. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, if you want to catch the completed product, check my feed later on tonight. Otherwise, go ahead over to my YouTube where I'll share the finishing part of it. So you guys have a great night, and if you're on YouTube, stay here because I'll show you the rest of it.